Tell me how actress, singer, songwriter, how did you get started in the first place? What made you go this direction?
Oh my goodness. Well, the first time I sang out in public was my kindergarten graduation.
Lainey, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you so much.
You know, it's amazing. I was talking to my 14-year-old daughter when I said I may have a chance to meet Lainey Wilson.
Yeah.
She started crying.
No, stop.
She was like, oh my gosh, it's so great. And it kind of struck a nerve to me. Tell me how actress, singer, songwriter, how did you get started in the first place? What made you go this direction?
Oh my goodness. Well, the first time I sang out in public was my kindergarten graduation. And I loved it. I was singing Butterfly Kisses. I was dressed up like a little butterfly. But for me, country music was more than just a genre. It was a lifestyle. I'm from a town of 200 people in Louisiana, and we live out those words to those songs. So I was just surrounded by it. It was the soundtrack of my life. So I decided to write my first song at 9 years old. And that same year, my parents brought me to Dollywood.
Right.
And we drove through Nashville. And I even knew at 9 years old that I was going to do this. And I told my parents that trip, I said, this is it. And they took me serious, and they believed me, and they tried to help me any way that they possibly could. It's kind of just been a weird sense of peace about knowing that this is my gift and I needed to share it somehow.
That's amazing. I from a small town in Kentucky, mostly all farmers, 1,100 people. So I kind of live a little bit of that myself, and a lot of your songs, they kind of resonate that same way.
Yes.
So when you're writing songs, are the ones that you feel the strongest about, do they always have that emotional pull of where you came from, the roots?
For sure. I feel like I can be writing a song about a heartbreak, and it's still going to kind of take you home in some way. I can't help it. Like I am who I am because of Baskin, because of that town of 200 people. And I could be singing about anything, and you're going to hear a little bit of Baskin.
Absolutely.
It's true.
That's awesome. So as you've gone through this whirlwind,
Yep.
Grammys,
Yep.
Entertainer of the Year,
Yeah.
how is it now when you're thinking back about going to that hometown? Have things changed?
For the most part, the town looks the same. The people don't. They've gotten a little bit older because it's been 13 years since I've lived there. But the people deep down are still the exact same, and they treat me the same. You know, I'm still little Lainey. And it's nice to go back and have those people that humble you, you know?
Absolutely.
Yep, it's
Absolutely.
great.
So acting, songwriting, performing, do you have a favorite?
You know, it might sound crazy, but the truth is it's kind of whatever I'm doing in that moment. I'll say first and foremost, like before I was anything, I was a songwriter. I was a storyteller. And that came from just hearing my parents tell the same old stories that I've been hearing for years, but like every time you hear them, you hear them from a different place, or they get better over time. And I just wanted to make people feel something. So I love it all. I'm glad that I get to do a little bit of everything. It keeps it interesting, keeps me on my toes.
Fresh and exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Is there a favorite song you've written, or one that strikes the heartstrings a little bit more than the others?
The cool thing about songwriting is I feel like over time, the songs like mean something different than they did the day that you wrote them. And I feel like, of course, Heart Like a Truck has lived a bunch of different lives. Like when I wrote that song, it was in the middle of the pandemic, and I was kind of writing it from that place. And then when I'm standing on stage, and I was singing it 2 years ago, I was singing about my daddy being sick in ICU for a month and a half. And, you know, my life continues to change and grow, but you know, I still put my pants on the same way like everybody else, and I have struggles and challenges. And at the end of the day, getting up there and singing Heart Like a Truck, like I said, it continues to change and evolve with whatever I'm going through, but it still gives me that feeling of like, I can do this.
That's awesome. Your honesty and style are infectious.
Thank you
so much for the time we spent today.
Oh, thank you, man.